Hi there everybody. Thanks so much for reporting back from Heimtex. This is Lisa Rosenberg in Chicago. I'm sort of recuperating from laryngitis, so pardon my voice. I was the former owner of RL Fine Linens. I have a passion for textiles and the technology behind it. I've been a chemist and I've been a high-end retailer for 25 years. I was feeling very envious this morning while I was drinking my coffee at Starbucks, but frankly, without an open store right now, I can only be a window shopper. One thing that was mentioned is that the tone is very subdued. There are no dramatic fashion statements. I had a few thoughts about it, and I think that's a reflection of the uncertainty and demand in the world market, and it's an attempt to broaden the appeal of the products that are being offered. Mills in Europe generally, their main market is the domestic market, their own domestic market. I think the color palette right now, which seems to be a little bit more timid, is a result of the uncertainty in the world. Several factors going on. I think first of all, you have the European markets that have just been decimated by the uncertainty in the euro and competition from the Asian markets, that their cost of production just can't compete. I think right now the subdued color palette that we're seeing is a result of fear. So manufacturers are creating product with the idea of appealing to the broadest market. Frankly, right now we are in what I think is a liquidation market, and I'm sure there will be new opportunities given that. I think a lot of mills are questioning the market in general. What's the point of weaving fabric if there's no one to purchase it? Businesses in general are looking beyond their own borders. In the case of Europe, they've always looked to the United States, but I would add to that also the Americas and the Asian markets. The Asian markets which are quote-unquote thriving right now. And they see that as an opportunity for expansion. At the right price point, people will buy color. I had a huge surprise this September when I walked into Restoration Hardware and I saw what I thought was a very beautiful store and beautiful colors, but limited. And with vendors that I worked with over 20 years ago, and the price point at retail is basically my cost. Long story short, not really a lot of room for the independent retailer such as ourselves. I'm very happy to not be twisting in the wind. I can tell you as a former luxury retailer that the affluent are not buying, at least not very many of them. And when it comes to the rich, there's rich and there's the uber rich. And those are two different things. Specific colors are usually not as sellable as things like white and ecru. I can tell you, after years of doing this, that people are afraid to commit to color. It's not for the faint of heart. I can tell you for myself that, especially starting at the beginning of 2010, we suffered a catastrophic downturn in business. I think the trends that have been successful are continuing on. Now, of course, you're going to see it at Target and at Pottery Barn and all the major home decor retailers. Basically, we are being dictated our color choices, which was the opposite of our business model at RL Fine Linens, where we specialized in the most innovative and the highest quality. Obviously, any manufacturer weaving thousands of yards of fabric wants to make sure that that gets sold. People just don't want to invest in color. I frankly get concerned sometimes that we're reverting to a white and ecru world. As somebody who loves color, it's sad, but I can understand the trend just because I think most people see these colors as being safer to work with in their design projects. A lot of the introductions which were shown featuring texture and color and embossed leather saw introduced in Europe more than 10 years ago. I think the strong color is the type of thing you're going to see more of in the lower end market. And in the higher end market, I think you'll see strong colors for things like purses and shoes, clothes, accent pieces in home decor. Couple points that are interesting about it are, for example, I noticed that Christian Fischbacher, that was always a great vendor of ours. Warren was describing it as being very subdued, which is the complete opposite of the direction of the company in the past. It was known for being extremely colorful and really out-of-the-box type of design thinking. We started carrying Christian Fischbacher about 1984, but when we switched to being RL Fine Linens, we decided to showcase our line. I think that worked because no one else was really carrying it, maybe a handful of people in the whole country. They are a company whose main market is the European domestic market, and color is a little bit more dramatic in Europe. Here in Chicago, we're, I would say, at least 5 years behind the fashion curve and tend to be very conservative in our tastes. That the palette needed to be adjusted if they really wanted to enter the American market. One of the problems with the European market is obviously their main market is their own domestic market. And what works in Europe does not necessarily work in the US. In fact, what works in Chicago doesn't necessarily work in New York or Florida or California. We have regional tastes, and nobody wants to be creating goods that aren't going to sell. I think a lot of mills right now are even questioning whether to go into production. As a luxury retailer in Chicago, for years we would recommend to our European mills that they consider the taste of the American color palette because it's a little bit different than the European market. But I think part of that is that they also need to address the world market. Unfortunately for us, we no longer have a store, so it really doesn't matter. However, despite that, I have a real passion for textiles. I have all my life. I like fabrics, I like weaving, I like the technology behind it. I really would like the opportunity to continue my quest of knowledge. Frankly, I'm here to put out the message that I am available. I have been in this industry for 25 years. I love design and I love being creative. And I like working with people. I like helping them make their design dreams come to fruition, and creating comfortable environments is something I enjoy doing. Thank you so much for bringing your insights about Heimtex, and frankly, I'm very happy to be not twisting in the wind anymore.